Why, howdy everybody, and welcome to another video brought to you by me, Jack, VintageElectronicsGeek.com. In today's video, we're just going to service this device. We'll check it out, open it up, check some components, see what it looks like. It appears to function just fine. It's just, a basic servicing. One of the other things that we need to do, and the reason why I have this upside down, is these feet are icky, gooey, and they need to be replaced. As you can see, the reflection in the light. So we'll clean those off, and I have some new feet that I'll put on. Remove this cord, this DC cord, which I'll need a pair of pliers for that. I've shown this in a previous video of it working, so I'm not seeing any reason why it shouldn't work, shouldn't function. But like I said, we'll open it up, check it out, test it, or test components, look at the resistors and whatnot, see if I could bump in. Try to clean this BNC connector up. As you can see, it looks kind of gross there. With it being dark like that, I almost want to say this is made out of silver, but it could just be nasty grossness on top. Instead, we got that all up in here, stickies. So we'll clean it up, see what it looks like. To open this up, you just simply remove these 4 screws. And these are P2 size screws, so nothing magical, nothing exciting there. I have removed the top and bottom cover. And that's what it looks like. See if this has got a date. It says copyright 8 of 81. So August 1981 is how old this is. So now we have a date and time frame, and it'll help me better research this. I was going to remove this wire, but somebody has soldered that on to the plug itself. Let's see if I can get you close enough to see. And here's a closer look at the inside. See, we got a big fat reference crystal there. Not seeing frequency on it. And then we got a bunch of ICs, a fuse, and realistically just a handful of capacitors, electrolytic. And from my end, everything looks good. I'll run through and test them and see what everything looks like. And that's a tighter shot at the printed side. Up in the upper left-hand corner, you can see the etching of the model, Toner 2. And the helper is the name brand. Not sure what the other number there correlates to, maybe part number. And underneath that is copyright 881. I've gone through this, and I decided to just go ahead and recap the whole thing. And so I did that. Put all new caps in, or electrolytic caps anyway, is what I meant to say. I haven't yet checked the old ones, but I figure, hey, you know, if this thing is that old, might as well just redo it. There wasn't that many to worry about, so I did it. Plug that was in the back of here, just as soon as I could find what I did with it. I'm not sure how the guy did it, but he ended up soldering to these pins, the 12-volt wire. I thought maybe he unsoldered this, because I did see where the negative was unsoldered from the board, but the switch didn't appear to be. So I thought, you know, he had pulled the wires through here, or I'm sorry, through the front, and then slid them back in. But there's no way that that could have happened. These pins don't come from the front, they come from the rear. And the reason I thought that was because the plastic on this casing was not marred at all. Very surprising. And the wiring that he had soldered to this was really tight. There was no splicing in the casing here at all. So it was really tight configuration for him. My hat off to him for doing such a fantastic job for not marring up the plastic. I'd be all over the place. But anyway, I went ahead and removed his work, and so now I just got to put this back in, solder it in. I need to clean the buttons, and that's it on the inside. Reassemble. Now, one thing I did not do before disassembling this was to check that this thing even had faults. I only have one radio at my disposal that would transmit a PL tone. Well, I got these family HT radios. Actually, I should grab one of those. That's what I should do. I was going to grab a ham radio. I don't like that radio. It's a Bofeng. It's a retarded Bofeng radio. So I'll grab a family radio providing the batteries are charged, and we'll test that to even see if the dumb thing works outside of a frequency counter. I don't know. I went ahead and tested the resistors. All the resistors checked within tolerance or thereabout, right at the neighborhood. I ain't worrying about them. This thing's probably not going to get used often, but when it does get used, I would like for it to at least excite and trip and show you that it is working. My kind of work is just a hobbyist. I don't need to be dead spot on. I just need to get a reference point, I guess. Anyway, long story short, this is about the only resistor that I showed outside of tolerance. I don't have any 1 watt resistors on hand to replace that with. So for now, it'll just live in here until I can get a brick of 1 watt resistors. I say brick because I like to order in bulk. I don't like to be working here on projects and run out of parts, and then you have to wait for parts to come in. Enough of that. Let's shut up and finish the job, shall we? Okay, I have the toner 2 all reassembled. I've got it cleaned up, and as you can see there, it's looking really good. Had a lot of ultraviolet built up on it, but I think it looks good. I got new feet on. Those things, man, the old feet were just all rubbery, gooey, slimy, icky. I did remove the sticker that was up here. The next thing we're going to do is actually plug it in. I cleaned the cable. Cable looks really good. Looks like new. Going to plug that in. We have it turned off. And we're going to see if the thing works or if it's going to blow up. I grabbed my family radio GMRS things, and I programmed a CTCS tone in there, and we're going to see if this thing works. And that's something that I failed to do before even taking this journey on, cleaning it up. Got this cleaned up, by the way, the BNC. It looks a lot better. It's still icky, but what the heck. So we're going to plug this in. I got the other radio. These haven't been charged up in quite some time since I took my trip. A couple months ago was the last time they were charged, so batteries on them are low. So if this one doesn't do it and dies, then I got the other one, which has about the same battery. So let's go ahead and turn this on. And we need to push a button. I have this on less than 250. Let's drop this down to 10 just out of curiosity. I don't believe in the other video that the frequency counter on this was active, but I can't remember if I had hooked up a external antenna to it or if I had it always connected to my function generator. Anyway, let's see what this does. I'm not sure what frequency that PL tone is at. I haven't checked. So let's just go ahead and set this on greater than 250 just for GP and push the button and see what happens. Okay. I was just tricking you. That was the open squelch button. Let's go ahead and try this again, hopefully with the right PTT or push to talk. Okay, nothing there. Let's try the next one. Something there tried. Let's go to the high. Probably not enough RF power to trip it via the antenna. I mean, it's trying.